Basically, I'm going to try to talk about frequently asked questions, so things that people ask on the platform, of course, and talk about experiences from members. And also, if I see something that happens too much or too often, I will talk about it in the hopes that we can all learn, from it. The topic we're talking about today is communicating your communication preferences. Let me repeat that. Communicating your communication preferences. For my see this happen too many times that you find a girl saying, "Oh, this guy calls me too much, so it's too much for me, so I'm just not going to talk to him anymore." Some people resort to ghosting someone if they feel like they call them too often or not enough. People rather take that route than actually communicate their preference. So that's why I wanted to talk about this today. And your communication preference is either the quantity, so how often do you want to be communicated with, and also the mode of communication. What's your preferred mode of communication? So, quantity, how often is too much? And what amount of time a day is too little. So you find some people saying he doesn't call me enough, he calls me maybe twice a day, while some people think twice a day is more than enough. Some people are like, "Oh, I liked my ex-boyfriend, he used to call me at least 10 times a day," and they like that. And you find some other people saying 10 times a day is too much. I don't want someone to call me 10 times a day, like too much. So it depends on what your quantity preference is. But that is something we've discussed about before. But right now, I'm trying to talk about communicating with that person, because you can miss out on a good person because you both have different quantity expectations for communication. And so, quantity, important. I actually would chip in time as well with this quantity. I would chip in time, honestly, because I find that if you call someone at like early morning, first thing I do when I wake up, if I'm working out, I might wake up a little earlier, so I'm waking up just regularly or not. It depends. I can wake up at like 6 or 7, but once I wake up, the first thing I do is put my podcast on and I start listening to, worship podcast. So someone calling me at that time, to me, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, honestly. And no, actually depends though. If I'm holding your kidney, of course you can call me at that time. If I have your liver in my freezer, I mean, nobody's going to blame you for calling me. So I feel like you can call me if I have, some organ of yours. But no, of course, if it's for like business or work or something urgent, like, "Oh, I just need help, something happened, my enemies are after me, send me 50 billion." If it's something urgent, I mean, understand that you can always call us an awkward time, obviously. And I say awkward time because to me that's an awkward time. But if it's like, "Hey, what's up? So what are you up to?" Really? What am I up to at 6 a.m. in the morning? Or, "Hey, what's up? So did you get any sleep last night? So have you had breakfast yet? So what's your day like? What do you plan to do for the rest of the day?" Honestly, I know some people would love it. That's why I say we're all different. Some people would love that. Someone to call them first thing in the morning and be like, "Oh, I thought of you last night. What's the rest of your day going to be like? And I hope you have a great day." It's sweet. And I get that. And I would love it in a voice note form, please, or in a message form, please. As for phone call, I might rush you off the phone. I feel like, because it's kind of messing up with my routine, so it's gonna be really awkward, honestly. Like, I'm just trying to imagine someone calling me 6 a.m. "Hey, what's going on? What are you up to?" I'm like, we're in Lagos, 6 a.m. We're up to doing what we have to do. I don't know. I feel like you can't just really do that. So honestly, I think time is also very important. As much as the quantity is important, time is important as well. But communicate that with the person. So if I find someone that calls me at like 6 a.m. to say, "Oh, hope your day goes great," I will chip it in there, but not rudely. No, never say like, "Why would you call me at 6 a.m.? Why would you call me at 7 a.m.? I have to get ready for work. I have to do." No, never be like rude about things, obviously. And let's go back to the mode of preference part. Mode of preference, everyone is really different. People feel like calling might be too much. Some people feel like calling is what they want. And the biggest part I've seen it happen on the platform is in the initial stage of meeting. Dating initial stages, when you meet someone and they exchange phone numbers, sometimes the guy could call or a girl could call. So let's say the guy called and the girl is like, he didn't even send a message first. He just called me straight up. And I'm giving you the neck roll because that's what I'm expecting, or that's what I'm imagining that she's doing. He didn't even call first. He didn't send a message first. He just called. Some people will actually even say he even called without permission. I'm like, oh. So some people are like, he called without permission. He didn't even send a message first to let me know this or that. And I get where they're coming from because nobody can fault anybody for their own mode of preference. But the fact that you're trying to fault the other person for reaching out to you in that mode is also something you shouldn't do, because that other person doesn't know you. They don't know you from anywhere. They don't know what your mode of preference is yet. You can assume that their mode of preference and your mode of preference should be the same thing. You can't make that assumption. Or you find some people actually saying, the guy sent me a text message first. I'm giving you the neck roll too because I'm imagining that as well. So, and he sent me a message first. He couldn't call. I think it's more polite, or the mature thing to do is to call someone first, not just to text me. So people feel like